Hello and welcome to the Fast Track Travel Clinic with me, Simon Calder, this time taking you from the southeast Pacific to the northwest of England. Emilio Trizzi in Genoa wants to know,
I saw your coverage of the total solar eclipse in Easter Island last month. I'd love to go there, but the fares I'm seeing make it look impossible. Nearly $4,000 or $5,000 for the round trip from Milan. Is there a cheaper way to get there?
Well, Emilio, I've been lucky enough to visit Easter Island, and yes, it is a place like no other. A tiny volcanic fragment in the South Pacific, almost 4,000 kilometres from the coast of Chile. Besides the celebrated stone heads, which are genuinely startling in their scale and quantity, the landscape is spectacular and the lifestyle serene, partly, I imagine, because it's so difficult to reach. Just a few flights each week from the Chilean capital Santiago and Tahiti in French Polynesia. Now, access gets easier from January when LAN Peru start flights from the Peruvian capital Lima. Fares are high because Easter Island is a niche destination, but I travelled there on a one world round the world air pass for which I paid a total of $3,000. That was starting and ending in London. So if the prices from Italy are significantly higher, it could be worth hopping over to Britain to start your trip. And perhaps hopping is appropriate for this next question. Kevin Keogh in Dublin reports,
my cousin and her family are booked to go to Spain with Aer Lingus. Last week her husband fell and damaged his ankle. He's now on crutches. Aer Lingus say he has to buy 2 extra seats on the flight. Is that right?
Kevin, I'm sorry to hear this sad story, but basically it's a reflection of the tough times that airlines, including Aer Lingus, are having at the moment. While 20 years ago you might have anticipated generous treatment of travellers in such unfortunate circumstances, competition is so intense and fares so low that few airlines, particularly in the low-cost sphere in which Aer Lingus operates in Europe, can offer such courtesies for free. But I hope there's some good news contained in the European rules on the rights of less able travellers, which insist anyone with reduced mobility, however caused, should be provided with assistance without additional charge. I dare say though it's one of those cases where lawyers will have to intervene before we get a clear interpretation of the rules. Next, a question from Janet. That's all the information I have, which could be perhaps because of political sensitivity. Janet says she's off on an independent vacation to Cuba and wants some advice on currency.
Should I take US dollars, the euro, or rely on a credit card?
Janet, don't rely on plastic. At least half the times I've tried to pay with a credit card in Cuba, there's been a problem and I've ended up handing over cash. Don't take the bulk of your funds in US currency because although the dollar used to be the de facto hard currency in Cuba, now it's the convertible Cuban peso, and dollars are effectively taxed when you try to spend them. The most useful foreign currency is the euro, though Canadian dollars, Mexican pesos and British pounds are also accepted. Make sure you change a small amount of cash for ordinary Cuban pesos because that way you'll be able to tap into the local economy and reduce what can be the high cost of travelling in Cuba. And while the government may be anti-dollar, a few greenbacks are always useful anywhere in the world in my experience. Finally, Jacinta West of Manchester in the UK says she's trying to cut the cost of travelling and reduce the impact on the planet by taking an empty plastic bottle to the airport and filling it up with water after going through security. Well, Jacinta, I'm pleased to say that Manchester Airport's media man tells me you're not alone, and in response to customer demand, they are right now installing water fountains. If you need some water in the meantime, they urge you to ask for a free refill at any bar or restaurant. Well, that's all we've got time for from the Fast Track Travel Clinic for now. Keep those emails coming to our usual address, fasttracktravel@bbc.co.uk, and I'll do my best to help you. From me, Simon Calder, bye for now and see you next time.